my GoPro 9 has some juice left, so I thought I would record a short video. So I'm about to leave Accordion. That's the way now I know it's pronounced, the garden of guardian angel. I thought it was something to do with garden. I swear to God, I thought it was something like Angie's garden. It turns out it's gardening angel. Who comes up with this stuff? And this was super nice truck stop. I'm telling you, there's a 55, because I think that's the exit number. No, maybe not. No, it's not. No, it is. I think that's the exit number. Yeah, 55 on I-10, Auto Route 10. So there's a restaurant, there's good food, but you have to show your proof of vaccination when you come in. And there's like a nice grocery store, like a real grocery store across the street with some huge liquor section. there's my favorite A&W, Canadian A&W, not American, so of course, because we're in Quebec, so A&W. But I didn't go there because of course that one has much better burgers than American. I'm sorry to say, but like we discussed this before, Canadian A&W is totally different from American A&W. Like, I'm not going to American A&W ever again, because it's same as Wendy or even worse than McDonald's. But this one, man, some of the places I've seen, they even had the bison meat burgers. Okay, we all warmed up. The temperature is above 100 F. See, like, this is a funny truck, right? Built in Canada, but half of the gauges are actually, most of the gauges are in imperial units, like coolant, which by tradition, of course, says water on the gauge to trick new drivers. You know, when they want to add coolant in winter at minus 50 F, they will use water, and then they will watch this gauge, right? But then everything is imperial except my speedometer is in kilometers, but I still have miles inside, like a smaller numbers. But here, yeah, PSI for pressure, right? Instead of what do they use in Russia? In Russia they use Newton per something, you know, like, because PSI of course is pounds per square inch. But I'm used to that one, except I'm still getting used to Fahrenheit. Oh wow, the smoke is coming out of my right pipe. Of course, nothing out of the left pipe. That's another thing I find ridiculous. Like, if I knew this when I was buying the truck, I would never install two pipes, because they're expensive, right? They're outside. I would just go with one under the truck horizontal pipe and be done with it. Anyway, what are we doing? So I unloaded, delivered the load, got paid on the same day at 2 o'clock. Money was in my account, but of course I had to hustle, as you saw from the previous video, persuade people to sign my papers before unloading me, and they couldn't resist my Russian charm and my bald head and missing teeth, so they said, yeah, come on, we don't see your ugly face here any longer than we have to. We'll sign your papers. But I'm okay with that. They sign my papers. I send everything to my factoring company. 5 hours later, I had money in my account. You cannot beat that. No tracking bad people, no arguing with brokers. So it's like it's my accounting department. This financial company acts as my accountant, because I use them to check credit of brokers. I only work with somebody that I know will pay me, because the factoring company says, hey, we'll pay you, right? If their credit is bad, I send them that copy of that page with everything in yellow or red, meaning they're bad. I send that to the broker, and I use that as a negotiation tool. saying that, you know, unfortunately my factoring company cannot factor this load, so if you want me to do it for you, I need to have either COD, or better yet, I want to have payment upon loading, but definitely before delivery.
Continue for 800 meters.
And you see that the ramp, this is the ramp to Autoroute 10. The ramp starts right at the truck stop. It's amazing. And there's a big place. Yeah, this is the grocery store with the liquor store, lots of parking. Everybody speaks English. I mean, I would just put in like occasional merci, bonjour, come sta, and then they look at me and say, oh, sorry, that's Italian. Okay. Buono Sergio, io buono Sergio, chi come, what was it? I come chiami, no, ti come muy ti chiami, something like that. And so what happened is that I got to this truck stop, right? And right away, actually, over the past couple of days, I was checking the load boards, the American, the Canadian, and I saw a couple of possibilities, but nothing. It was still kind of like talking to people. And one guy had a couple of loads. One American guy, and one load was from north of Montreal, basically 2 hours away from me, and the other load is from Bolton, Ontario, from Ritchie Brothers Auction. Now we're talking. I said, yeah, I want to do the one from Montreal, and they're both going to Newark, New Jersey. And then the guy disappears because he says, oh, I'm traveling on for the holidays. And then Thursday, I think. Yeah, as I'm sitting on Friday. No, I think Thursday. Yeah, Thursday he emails me and he says, the one in Montreal is not going to be ready for another week. But he says, the one in Bolton, pretty much near my yard, is ready to go Monday. And I'm like, son of a gun. So I'm sitting here, I cannot do this load, so I have to drive, you know, 7 hours back, empty. But there was nothing here, and I couldn't find anything, you know, on such short notice. What are they doing here? Oh, repairing the guardrail. And so yeah, I couldn't find anything on such short notice from Quebec to Ontario. But that's where my Canadian load board would be useful, because it has much more loads inside Canada, even though they're cheap sometimes, you know, but sometimes it's good price. And so that load, right, I just did, that big AC unit, so that was my first load from this load board, and I'm quite happy with that. And so the guy, I said, what's your rate? Oh, give me a number. Okay, I give him a number. Of course, he says, how about, and he goes back by a couple of $100. I said, that's fine. But this one needs a bond. And I told him, I said, I cannot do it for too cheap, because the guy I'm working with, he charges me, the last time I think I paid, I forgot, $350 or $400 or even $450 US for the bond, because I don't want to have my own, you know, because I don't do these bonded moves. Like, I do them maybe twice a year, 2-3 times a year. And so yeah, you can become bonded, but then it's all your responsibility. I think it costs about somewhere between $1,200 and $1,500 US a year. It's kind of like insurance, like you buy insurance, right? Like bond. Which means that if you screw up, then the CBP, Customs and Border Protection in the States, will have something to say about that. And that's why I don't want to be bonded carrier, because I'd rather use this guy who knows what he's doing. So he prepares the bond. So basically he sets up border crossing in bond, and then he sends me a copy of the bond, you know. So again, like I do the thing I do best, outsourcing, right? Whether it's checking tire pressure or getting the bond, or getting your money from the factory company, I'm a big fan of outsourcing, right? And so in this instance it works fine. And so we signed the papers. He sent me the, you know, one thing you need when you deliver in port, at a port they will not unload you unless you have a dock receipt. Okay, so basically it's like a guarantee that somebody will pay the charges to the port, kind of like a guarantee letter, right? This is the company that shipping this is the vessel, this is the final destination. It's very important. Without this, they're not gonna unload you. And a couple of times when I was just a rookie, I showed up at the port in Baltimore, I remember, and my dispatch, when I was a company driver, the dispatch sent me something, but it didn't clearly state that it was a dock receipt. It just said like bill of lading or something, you know, for the port. And so I give him that at the counter, and the guy says, no, that's not it. Call your dispatch, we need the dock receipt. And so this time I have everything. I have the dock receipt, I have my rate confirmation, sign it, send it back. Pays US dollars, of course, because the broker is American. And so that's what I'm doing. I have to drive 700, well, it was like 675 kilometers, roughly 400 miles back to my place. But the good news is that I get to spend 2 days, like the weekend, with my beloved Dodge Charger, and that idea gets 2 big enthusiastic thumbs up from Captain Sergei. I drove it a little bit on Tuesday when I was sending the money to my Accordion dealer, but I was sad, you know, when I parked it, had to park it, continue my trip east to this Accordion, and so now we're going back to the Charger. Speaking about the dealer, so the money was sent Tuesday for the remainder what I owe them for that fancy custom garmoshka, you know, accordion. And Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, nothing. I asked him, I sent him an email, said the money has been sent. Please advise when you receive it, when you've received it. But of course, everything is in Russian. And I wake up for some reason at 5 in the morning today in the truck. I didn't go to a hotel, but there was a motel next door to that resto bar, to the truck stop. But I didn't go, you know. And so I wake up at 5 in the morning. I decided to check my email. Call me crazy, because I wanted to see what my ads on Kijiji were doing, because I put this green garmoshka for sale, since I don't need 2, I only need 1, and I'm getting the second one on December 2nd in the States, where my friend hopefully brings it from Russia when he's leaving December 2nd, but because he's flying west, it'll still be December 2nd here, or rather in New York. He'll be near New York City, landing in one of those NYC airports. And so I checked my email, and I see the email from the dealer in Russian in Moscow. It says the bank requested your a photo or scan of your passport, and that's it. the bank requested a photo or a scan of your passport. Like, the way they communicate is just kind of like, no, you know, please send a copy, or can I have this, or the bank requested your presence, or whatever. Like, man, it's kind of like, you know, it sounds rude, you know, like the broker says, you know, I'm booking a load, that the broker would say, we need your renewed insurance certificate. That's it. Like, can we please, can you send us, could you send us, would you send us? But anyway, I knew what he wanted. So the bank wanted my passport, and of course I'm pretty sure they didn't want my Russian passport, which expired anyway. So at 5 o'clock in the morning, I turn on my lights, and our Canadian passports, they have plastic there. They have plastic, and they have codes in plastic on that piece of paper. Like, it's probably 50% of that passport is plastic, right? And so it reflects the light, so it was pretty tricky to take a picture. But I took a picture, you know, of the main page where it says the passport number, Canada, my name, effective date. But of course it has no address, and I'm thinking, man, what if they require something with my address? But anyway, took a picture, sent it to him, and then emailed him again. I said, send, please let me know if they need anything else, thank you. And I went back to sleep, and then in an hour a beep from my phone woke me up. I see an email from the dealer saying, money has been received, sent from my iPhone. And so that's it. So the money is in the bun is in the oven, as they say in undercover guerrilla operations, you know. The bun is in the oven, the sky is blue, money has been received. So we're good to go. We have ignition. So that black Garmoshka is coming to America. And actually, I talked to him. I tried to talk to him on the phone, and when I was waiting for the crane, and the guy was very pleasant on the phone, but we got disconnected probably after 1 minute, because I was using my Canadian phone, trying to call his Russian phone, and it went through, but we just had time to say, hey, so is this это Sergei Dratchev из Canada? Is this Sergei Dratchev from Canada? I say, yeah. And then a couple more sentences, boom. And I sent him an email, we got disconnected. Связь оборвалась. And that's when he told me that he talked to my friend who's bringing the Garmoshka. They set up a meet, you know, забили стрелку in Russian. So they're meeting when my dealer goes to Tula to pick up my accordion, and on the way back, and he lives in Lyubertsy, on the way back he'll be actually passing the town where my friend is staying, the Russian-American guy. So that's what's happening. Oh, and a few words about the load before my battery dies on the GoPro. By the way, what are we doing here? So we're still on Auto Route 10, go 24 kilometers to exit 11. Oh, I'm guessing I'm taking 30 again. So we're going northwest, or more like west. Like Ange Gardien was here, Montreal is here. So I'm going back northwest towards Montreal, and then I catch 30, Auto Route 30, which goes like this around Montreal, and then you have to pay 12 bucks, I think, 13 bucks for one toll bridge, and then you end up on Auto Route 20, which goes west towards Ontario, southwest, and then it becomes 401 once you cross into Ontario. And so yeah, the load, you guys are gonna love this. The load is a 1965 machine. Okay, 1965. I'm not sure what's the point of somebody buying this is. You know, 1965, 35 plus 20, 55, so it's 57 years old. Like the oldest I hold so far was that pipe layer. Remember, I had that, what, 1991 pipe layer I took from Ohio to Alberta. I thought that was ancient. Turns out there's still more ancient equipment on the market. So somebody bought this from the auction, and I think the guy said it goes to Egypt. And that's why I need the bond, because they don't want to pay the export fees in the States, so it just goes through the States in transit towards the port, which is a bonded facility, right? And then I emailed the guy, my bond man, as I call him. I emailed the bond man and ask him and tell him that I've arrived in the port, you can cancel the bond. And then he cancels the bond, and then the next step is, it's not my responsibility. They have to get another bond, I think, for the ship. Maybe not, but anyway. Maybe not, yeah, maybe it'll be just, they'll have to set up export from Canada to Egypt. Because, yeah, US is just in transit. That's why the bond gives you the right not to pay any export fees. You're basically saying, hey, don't mind me, I'm just passing through. But in case you, that's where problems can arise, when people try to use this as you know, as a cheating method. Like they're delivering in Texas somewhere, right? But they say, hey, we're going to, this load goes to Mexico. And so they don't want to pay the export fees, so they buy the bond, and that's why it became much more difficult to get a bond. And that's why I don't want to be a bonded carrier, because I don't trust these brokers, right, that hire me. Because next time somebody says, oh yeah, it's a bonded move, okay, I'm a bonded carrier, and then he tells me, yeah, unload right here, and there's no security, there's no gate, so I can see it's not a customs approved bonded warehouse. You cannot just unload anywhere. It has to be a special bonded facility, like with a fence, with a gate. You know, you have to show your ID when you enter, stuff like that. So yeah, I don't want to be bonded carrier. I'd rather pay this guy, and I try to factor the cost into the rate. Sometimes they pay it, sometimes they just pay me like I think this guy agreed to 50%. I asked him to increase the rate to cover this $400. He says, how about this? And I think he gave me $200. Like extra. That's still okay. Yeah, the weather's not cooperating today. It started raining yesterday, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna turn into snow sometime. Maybe towards the weekend over here, because this is Quebec, right? It's always colder here than in Ontario, especially like, you know, Cambridge over there, because we're near the lake, not too far from the two lakes, Erie Lake, Ontario Lake, Lake Ontario, Lake Erie. So it's usually warmer there, but sometimes we get more snow than these guys because of the, you know, the lake effect. Kind of like what they have in Buffalo. They always have too much snow in Buffalo. This is a big Quebec company called Robert. These guys are huge. I see their trucks everywhere. So now we're up to date. That's what's happening. So I'll be probably after dark, I'll be in my yard. I got 50% of fuel. I should be okay, because I'm driving slow. And then I'll probably go to the hotel for the weekend. And some of the brokers actually work today, because yesterday, right? Yesterday was a holiday, and yet my broker was working. The guy that gave me this load, and he also said that he'll be working Friday, which is today. So I know some offices are open, and so just in case, I emailed my bond man. And I said I need to use his services once again in case he's gonna be in the office later today. But he's on Pacific time because he's in the West, in Washington, US, in the state, Washington State. So now it's 11 here. So over there now it's what, 9? No, 8. 8 a.m. in the morning in Washington State. So if I see he responds as I'm driving, I'll stop somewhere at the truck stop and send him. I'm pretty sure all he needs is the dock receipt. That's all he needs. He just needs the dock receipt, and he knows me. We worked before, maybe 3-4 times. And then he can set up the bond, charge my credit card. And of course, I need to order permits because this thing, it's gonna be like 10 feet wide, 10 feet tall, and it's about 75,000 pounds. So, which is good news for me, is that I don't have to change my trailer. I have a quad in the back, and now I'm driving with XL2, no, XL1 and XL3 in the air. And of course, I gotta put them down for Monday. Go get that, it's a Dozer. Go get that 1965 Dozer. I hope it starts. And then I'll double check the dimensions, and I'll have to order the permits. So hopefully, because it's not too heavy, so hopefully New York will be issued quickly, because I need permits for New York, PA, and New Jersey. So that's my next adventure. Some big mess is happening here at the junction of Autoroute 30 and 10. I see they're building a new
400 meters, take exit 11 for Autoroute 30 west toward I-87, Accordion.
looks like they're building a new bridge here. So I need 11. We need 30 west. Okay, 30 west, New York, this one. this should be easier because yeah, that 10 is busy because it goes through all these suburbs, which 30 does as well, but yeah, you see on the other side it's a total mess. Check this out, a guy with a
600 meters, keep left.
curtain side and it's all open. Looks like he broke it because the rear frame is there, but the whole thing is moved forward and he drives like that. I see this quite a bit when he hits something, you know, and then he cannot close it. You know, that tarp that slides on they install on a flatbed or step deck. And that's it. I think from here it's 59 kilometers, which is what, like 38 miles to Auto Route 20, and then probably another 6 hours and I'll be home. Thanks for watching.